Yeah.
I am really excited about Minoru Suzuki smacking the shit out of him.
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
love Suzuki. I was confused because they they seemingly set up that match and it was going to be at Forbidden Door, and then it didn't happen.
I was also confused about that, but
It was weird, right? It was weird timing.
it would have been better too on that show.
Same with the Acclaimed Elites match. Like, I don't know what's going on with that, because they won at this point a month ago. They won an eliminator match.
They could forget about it. It's okay. Just let them. Don't mention it.
Yeah. Well, they actually mentioned this on Collision. It was because FTR came out and they're like, "Hey, we want the tag titles," and then, great, cool. But the Acclaimed, they're the number one contenders, and even fucking Tony Schiavone was like, "What's gonna happen? They're the number one contenders. Is FTR gonna come in now?" And I'm like, "Why did you not give them their match already?"
I'm very worried.
Yeah.
It seems like that's one of those matches are going to be on Wembley, and I'm very worried because those are like two matches I really don't want to see on Wembley. I'd much rather the Bucks face someone more interesting that they like haven't faced in the last 3 years, like 3 times over again. It's like
who do you have in mind?
I think what they're gonna go for is FTR is gonna take the number one contender spot, and then they're just gonna do FTR Young Bucks at Wembley
again. At Wembley.
Seems like
I don't care to like. I love the matches they've had, but I don't care to see that rematch at Wembley for like the 5th time now in their series.
Sorry, Glaire. What would you want to see? No.
Yeah. Who do you think of like immediately when you think of Bucks versus blank at Wembley?
So a few months ago, I was really dead set. Charlie of WrestlePurious, if anyone knows who she is, she's a great writer. Awesome. She had suggested that they go with the Bucks versus Christian and Copeland. And I was really up for that match. I thought that's a Wembley match. That's perfect for what it was. And then, Copeland decided to take a flat-footed drop off a steel cage. And, that was a very bold choice of him. But, we all make mistakes in life, whatever. And then I got real excited because I was like, who's a free agent right now? We got some Detroit boys. I got some Motor City Machine Guns. And I was like, that's a cool match right there. I could get down with that.
Did they sign with WWE though?
Seems like they're still deciding. It seems like they don't really know, but they're leaning WWE. It seems that
would be
either way
incredible match.
Yeah, either way I'd be happy with it. But that's the match I would have really wanted to see. But as it goes on, I'm flinching a little bit. I think they're probably going to WWE. So if I had to say someone else, it gets a lot harder because there's not many teams that I really like super invested in right now. But if they wanted to run back the Lucha Bros again, I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't hate it. I think that would be decent enough. So
that was Mufasi's first AEW show. Was All In 2021 in the Steel Cage. Or All Out, yeah.
That was my very first time watching AEW. Was All Out. That cage match, I was like, this shit fuck. That is what got me into AEW. Was
one of my favorite matches of all time.
Galera was trying to get me to watch AEW for like well over a year, and I was like, whatever. Don't have time, all that stuff. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna watch it.
We invited all of Twitter into your Discord server.
Oh my god. I posted.
He advertised it on Twitter.
I was like, hey, I'm doing a watch party.
And people that wanted to just like, people that didn't want to buy the pay-per-view were like, oh,
there was
I remember
60 people in a Discord call that they all hopped in. I muted everybody, but there was 60 people just watching All Out. I was like, oh my god.
I remember hearing 2 people joined in and they couldn't figure out, like most of the people muted themselves, but they couldn't figure out, like they didn't know what Discord was. And they were like, all you hear is like, yeah, it's like Slack for gamers.
Yeah, that show was funny.
One of the best pay-per-views that AEW has done, in my opinion, and it still holds up to this day.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, there's another match. There's another match I've gotten here for. There's 2 I've thought of here. I would be okay with Malachi and Brody. I would think that would Malachi's kind of stepped up his work lately. He's earned back a little bit from me, so I think that would be cool. I would be down for that. And then I'd also be down for, I just had it in my head and then I like kind of lost it completely. So let me try to refresh this. It was
Private Party.
honestly, I would not mind Private Party because it got a lot of history, but I was thinking Switchblade, Jay White, and Juice Robinson. I think that would be a pretty cool match
Oh
too.
yeah.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. I feel like their tag team division isn't too deep this year.
It's because they don't put any focus on it anymore, which is kind of a
Yeah.
poor choice in my opinion. I really wish they
Like-
would emphasize tag team wrestling again.
I really like, I like Top Flight, for example. I think they're a great team.
Cool team.
That could definitely use more exposure. Maybe not at Wembley, but like just kind of giving the 30,000 foot view of everything.
Mhm.
There's not a whole lot of depth like there used to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got one more too. I'm literally scrolling the roster and I'm seeing
Same.
things pop into my head. Roddy Strong and Kyle O'Reilly going back as a team, being heels again. I'm not necessarily saying O'Reilly's better as a heel, but if they were to do it, or as babyface, if they both went babyface, because Bucks are heel, I think that would be a very good match. I think that would rule too. There's a
Yeah.
few out there, but we're kind of sitting here saying, like, I'm sitting here saying these teams that like some of them aren't even on TV, some of them aren't even
Right.
formed really, and it's like I just wish they started caring again and started giving tag team matches moments on Dynamite, started building up teams and all this stuff because the Bucks have had these belts for how long and they haven't even defended them. And I got a problem with that. Like I don't like it at all. And
Yeah.
it's not like they're building anyone up at the same time. They're just saying, okay, the Acclaimed are going to do it, but they got to have someone after that. But there's no one's got any emphasis. So who comes next?
Yeah, it's in a really weird spot right now.
Yeah,
I'm all
not a fan.
for FTR winning those championships again at some point. Not at Wembley. They did it last year.
Yeah. At some
I
point.
loved when they had like 3 different tag team championships at once.
Belt
AAA,
collector.
Belt Collector, FTR. They had the Ring of Honor, the AAA, and the AEW tag titles. It was sick. They're my favorite tag team ever.
That was where I fell in love with them actually, because I remember like that was kind of when I started getting into it and exploring things and all that good stuff. And
their matches with the Briscoes.
Oh my god, that was some of my favorite matches I've ever seen. They're all just so good. And I remember that's where the moment, because they were super over and they were having these great matches. They were going all over the world to defend the belts. They were even defending him in New Japan versus like Aussie Open, which is a great match over there. And it was like, these guys are some of the best in the world, and I'm glad that they got that time, and I'd like it, to maybe get back to it at some point. Maybe not in the next 6 months or something like that, but at some point, I'd love to see a run where they're really pushed as a top act, given a lot of guys to just wrestle. I think that would work really well.
Yeah.